then they had a room where classical music was played. Singing, orchestra, opera, other classical music. They had 3 big rooms. So we had a chance to walk around to see which one we enjoyed our best. Well, to make a long story short, it was about 1:30, 2 o'clock before I went to bed. The following day, it was Sunday, and we had breakfast. Then we took our tour. We took our tour. We went to see, of course, the glaciers, not the glacier, but the geysers, Old Faithful, and we took a guide, showed us all around, whatever there is to be seen in Yellowstone National Park. We had lunch. What's he doing there? Telephone?
Yeah.
I figured that guy's going to do with the telephone.
That baby was.
Uh-huh. Don't you do that.
Yeah, that was the telephone.
Here, you want some more ice cream? David? Go ahead. Come on, David. Let him through. Oh, come on.
Come on, David.
Come on. Come on. Come on, push.
So you stayed at that place 2 nights?
Yep.
You really like that ice cream, don't you, kid?
The following morning, the car was full, and we drove out to Great Falls, Montana. Over there, all they had is, of course, we were doing fish, was where they had this young fish, what do you call them? Where they had tanks full with all kinds of fish
Goldfish.
until they get big enough to be thrown into the lake. I forgot what they called.
Trout farms.
What?
Trout farms.
I don't remember. We went through there. They had acres and acres of it, and it looked like it was great big bowls. And I think they shipped it from there to all over the United States.
Yeah, it's a trout farm.
We spent the day. Go look what he's doing in the kitchen. Starting to pull out the pots and pans.
Let them pull out the pots and pans, we'll put them back later.
Sure is.
Okay, that's all right, Joel. Just make sure he doesn't break anything. Keep your eye on him if you
All
would.
it is Tupperware and metal stuff.
Okay, fine. So let him just play with it.
Okay.
And we had a pleasant
Let
time.
him play.
We had a pleasant time. We stayed there overnight.
Oh, so David brings you a present.
Thank you. Now you go put it back. You put it back because I'm going to kiss your ears off. The following day, we drove through Montana towards Glacier Mountains. Before we were able to go into Glacier Park, we had to pay a toll, of course, at every one of those places. But even when you went to Yellowstone Park, we had to pay a toll fee to get in. All those parks had toll fees at that time. And the man at the office said, "Have you got a place where to stay? Have you made the reservations?" I says, "No, I didn't know it." I said, "How can you go into a place, especially in the season, then you won't have a room where to stay?" I said, "How much will it cost me if you make a call to see what you can find for me?" So I paid him. I remember I paid him $2 or $3. And he started to call. He said, "I found 3 rooms but it's over on the Canadian side. It was called I just can't think of the name. It was a certain lake, but it was on the Canadian side of the Glacier Mountains. We got there just about 2 weeks before we went on that road on the mountains. There was 50 foot of snow cut off, rolled away from the road, off the road in order to give us passageway. I remember you two says, Dad, just stop for a minute, I want to reach through the window, grab a whole handful of snow from the mountains. And I did. So I stopped over there, pulled over, and you went out and grabbed the snow. I wanted to see how it feels to have snow in July.
Was it July then?
Yeah, it was in July.
Jeez.
And we got there. It was Lake McDonald Lodge. Well, the whole lodge was a very big, huge building. Was made from log, like a log cabin, from logs, heavy logs from the trees, you know. Instead of being stuccoed or bricks, it was heavy logs. We went in there. Here, have another bite. And sure enough, they had 2 cottages for us. Needless to say, it was also late at night when we got there. Late in the evening, rather. And we went into the lobby. I'll never forget. It was about 2 stories high. No, 3 stories high. And they had a veranda going all around the lobby. And from every post was a stuffed head of a wild animal. Bears, elks, whatever animal they had, all along the post, all along the side. It was very impressive. And they had a fireplace. It was the longest, the biggest fireplace I ever saw. You cannot have that. It was, no, you can't have that. You can't have it. The fireplace was bigger than this room, almost twice. They had big logs in there burning. They had music, they had dancing, and it felt very comfortable and warm. You kids went to sleep. Of course, when we put you to sleep, they had a blanket, and we had 2 other Hudson Bay blankets on the foot of each bed. I said, what the heck are we going to use all those blankets? Well, by the time I got to my room, you kids went ahead and had all the blankets covered. They were covered with all the blankets. It was so cold. Next morning, we got up, and the grass was all white. White grass. We stepped on it, it felt like popcorn. You know, it was so frosted. We had breakfast, and after breakfast we left. And we took, I think we took south, and we went to the Columbia River.
No, David, don't play with that. Play
Columbia.
with the video recorder. Oops.
After, did he touch anything there?
It's all still working fine.
After, when we got to Columbia River, there was one of those ferries that you pushed. There was one man who pushed the ferry with a long stick. And one car could go on the ferry.
You mean a hand-operated?
Hand-operated ferry with a stick, with a rope. they put from one end to the other end. And they took all of us over to the other side. And it was naturally very mountainous. The sights, the waterfalls. It was beautiful. And we drove over to Oregon or Washington, I don't remember.
Had to be Washington.
Anyway, on the way, we stopped off and we saw, it's called, it was a place where they supplied electricity.
Grand Coulee Dam.
Grand Coulee Dam. We spent a half a day there at the Grand Coulee Dam. From there we went to Spokane. That was Washington. In Spokane, we even went fishing. But the only thing we caught is a lot of weeds. We didn't catch anything.
Well,
Just weeds.
my fishing luck is not substantially improved, but it is somewhat better.
Well, at that time it was a lake. And we went out of that boat and we came back with a lot of weeds. And we were there, I think, for one night. That's all. Because we got out early and we went fishing. We came back, we had the supper, went to sleep. The next morning, we drove from Spokane I just can't recall the city we were in there. Also in Washington. From there, we went to Oregon. And from Oregon, we came down to Redwoods,
Redwood National Forest.
Redwood National Forest. And I think we stayed there overnight if we were able to get a bungalow. And meantime I called them every time we got to a place. When you coming home? I said, I got plenty of time. Till I run out of the money. Then we went to, what's that other park? Not Yellowstone, but
Yosemite.
Yosemite. We went to Yosemite, and we stayed there overnight. And from this Yosemite, we drove trying to think of the name of the place where we spent the night. Then I was going to go to the ocean, straight to San Francisco. Did I hit into a fog? It was so thick I had to take inside road. Instead of taking the ocean road, inside road, and we drove over to San Francisco.
It was probably Lake Tahoe, not that you went to, not Yosemite, because Yosemite had to be too far south. It was probably the Lake Tahoe area you went to. I don't remember.
I don't remember. I know we went to Yosemite because we couldn't take the road from the ocean. It was so fog, so heavy fog. So we doubled back. We went back on the inside road, and that's where we went to Yosemite.
Could be.
Because I called from Yosemite. And from there, I think we stopped in San Francisco. In San Francisco, we came home. We came home late at night. Give me that. Give me that. Thank you. Here's another ice cream. Here. You're a good boy, you know that? You're a terrible good boy. Here. Here's a napkin. Your napkin.
Give him the bowl and tell him to take it back where you got it from.
He didn't take the bowl.
No, I'm talking about the little one in your lap. He took that one.
Oh. Put it back. Put that back when you got it from. Go put it back. Go put it back. Yes. That's right.
that's the only vacation I can ever remember, just being with you and Sherwin alone. Was there any other vacations like that? I don't remember any.
Yes, but I didn't go with you that time. You went with Manny and Denise back to Yosemite. That was maybe 2-3 years later. You went back to Yosemite. Because after I got to LA, I couldn't take no vacations.
Well,
Because I got into business. The following day I was already in business.
yeah, what happened when you got to LA?
LA, the Farkases, our cousins were waiting. They had a store, a butcher shop that wanted to sell out badly. It was right next to their furniture store. We went over there, my dad and I, we bought it
It was on South Broadway.
on South Broadway.
And Sam and Martin were your cousins who had lived next door to you in...
No, they had their
Europe.
own home.
No, but in Europe.
In Europe, yes, right across the street from us.
Right, so you knew them, they were from childhood.
Oh, yes.
How much older were Sam and Martin than you?
How old?
How much older were they? They were older than you.
Well, Sam must have been about 15 or 20 years older than me. And Martin was about 5 or 6 years older than
And they had a furniture store on South Broadway.
me. South Broadway, yeah.
And they got this butcher shop for you. and
It
your
was
dad.
right next door to him. Yeah, he wanted to sell out. And I went in there and worked for one day on a Saturday. And the following Monday, I took over. Bye. Come out of there.
So were you partners with your dad in that
Yes,
place?
that's right. That's right. And then Bernice and Manny came out. Come on here, this way. And what was Manny going to do? We take him in as a partner. Because so all he knew how to sell is newspapers and magazines. So I took him in to teach him how to be a butcher. We went to business in San Pedro.
That's when you went into the Big Bear
Butcher
Market.
shop. Butcher shop only. Where Manny and I ran the butcher shop. My dad hired another butcher to run this butcher shop over on Broadway. Well, my dad was running the place, and the butcher went ahead and he was checked by, no,
I'll take care of that.
he was,
The butcher who was working for you.
well, yes. And he was caught underweight or overcharging. And it happened to be an inspector. Fair trade inspector,
Weight and measures, yeah.
weight and measures, and he caught him. So he went up and said, "Who's the owner?" He says, "I am." He says, "This and this what he done." He says, "Who'll take the blame for it?" He says, "Well, as long as I'm the owner, I'm responsible." So they booked them both. And the trial came out, Dad called me up. He says, "You better bring me down $400 or $500 cash. I was fined, or otherwise I go to jail." So I had to go right away and bail him out. Because that's why they fined him, but shortage. He says, he made a mistake. I told him, he says, the butcher done it. Your dad didn't do it. The butcher done it. It would have been half of this way each one. We're fined $250. Because evidently the judge understood that your dad gave instructions to do that. So after that, I think my dad didn't feel so good, and I don't know whether we closed the store or sold it. I don't remember what we did. And Manny and I were running the business in San Pedro. Lo and behold, Milton Spiegel and Goldberger.
Old Man Goldberger.
Yeah, remember them?
I remember Old Man Goldberger. I don't even remember any name other than Old Man Goldberger.
And Milton Spiegel.
They
sold out.
Goldberger was Margie's
father. Yeah. Father and mother. They came out. They sold out and they came out here and bought their home. They always lived together, you know. Bought their homes and they looked for a business. And sure enough, they came to San Pedro, and the man who ran the grocery department wanted to sell out. And he sold out. We took a four-way partnership because they bought the grocery store with all the merchandise. And of course, our investment was big. We had all new counters and so forth. Milton was also a meat cutter. So the four-way partnership began at that time. And that was the biggest mistake of my life.
That was around 1948.
That was the biggest mistake of my life.
It was difficult years for you.
Very difficult years for me.
So how long were you in that business?
Oh, till I was with him till about 54.
That's when you went into the green farm in Hawthorne. Now at that time, where were you living?
Well, first we lived over on 2626 7th Avenue. Well, mother had that up to her neck with her family. She didn't want to stay there.
Well, who was, at that time she was living with your folks upstairs and Manny
Fran on one side and Bernice on the other side, and we had Buddy was born there. And
Ruth Ann had already been born. Ruth Ann was born when they came out here in 46.
That's right, she was born here. She was born in this
Buddy was born in like 48, 49.
Then Uncle Daje came out, visit us. That's my dad's brother. And I remember I took my mother and dad and Daje over to the famous reserve right near Marietta. He spent over there for a week. And Uncle Daje liked it. Then we went to buy, we looked around the moon. So we found a duplex on Citrus Street, right near Olympic. And Uncle Daje helped us with a deposit on the building. We had a tenant upstairs, and we lived downstairs.
The Eisenbergs lived upstairs.
The Eisenbergs lived upstairs, yes.
And that was in 1951 you moved.
That's right, 1951.
Okay, when you left 2626 7th Avenue, who was living there then?
Who?
Yeah.
Well, my dad and Fran, and they rented it out. They leased it out to somebody else. Moved in there.
When did your father pass away? I think
In 49. My dad passed away in 49.
Do you remember what he died from?
Yes, leukemia.
How old was he?
With the blood. He was about 67 years old. And I think we moved, at that time we moved, right after that we moved over to Citrus after he passed away. And we commuted back and forth. I believe they sold that house, that unit house. The 4 unit, we sold it after I bought. They had about a year or so. My dad passed away. They sold it. Bernice and Manny bought that home on Airdrome. And I think Mother moved in with Bernice.
And Fran was married at that time
Fran was married at that time, yes.
to Kaufman, as I remember.
Kaufman, something like that, yes.
Or, maybe, no, not Kaufman. Kaufman was the second husband. Who was the first husband? Fran's first husband. I only remember that he was a shoemaker, a cobbler.
Kaufman. I think that was Kaufman.
Kaufman? Okay, well,
Or was he the...
they were all
radio man?
K's, that I remember that.
I think Kaufman was the radio man.
Kaufman was the second husband. He was in the TV repair business.
That's right. Right. Yeah, there was another one who was in the shoe repair business. And she divorced him. And then she married this TV businessman. And she, I don't know how long they were married. He was also divorced until she married Bob. And
You know, you described the years of working in San Pedro in the partnership with Manny and with old man Goldberger and Milton Spiegel. It was very difficult years.
very difficult.
What was, they were difficult at work, at home. What was so difficult about them, Dad?
The difficulty was they believed investment. We carried...
Let's take a minute break now.
That's your little boy.
Dad,
Yes.
you're talking about why things were so difficult with you in San Pedro.
Yeah. I could make a living. I couldn't draw enough money to live on.